Hello everyone, and welcome to another Scottish Genes Bites. It's Chris here, and what I'm going to do today is talk to you a wee bit about the Ulster Scots. Now, who were the Ulster Scots? Well, you're looking at one. Ancestry tells you that, or tells me, that my ethnicity is 88% Scottish. And what's the reason for that? Well, it's because the Presbyterian community and the Protestant community in the north of Ireland is mainly descended from Scottish settlers who ended up in the province of Ulster in the early 17th century. Now, everybody thinks about the plantations of Ulster starting in 1609, and that's when the major settlement took place. But actually, just a couple of years before that, there was another smaller settlement in County Down and in a small part of County Antrim, known as the Hamilton-Montgomery settlements. And where I'm talking to you just now is outside Dunlop Kirk, which is about 3 miles away from Stewarton, where I live. And Dunlop Kirk, just outside of it, there's a little plaque here you can see just behind me that says Discover Ulster Scots in Ayrshire. And this is a plaque that actually commemorates a guy called James Hamilton, who was the Hamilton of the Hamilton-Montgomery settlement. So he basically, along with many settlers from Ayrshire and Dumfries and Galloway, ended up settling in the Ards Peninsula and in parts of County Antrim as the Hamilton-Montgomery settlements. And this is part of a series of sort of markers across Ayrshire that talks about the links between the people of the northeast and the north of Ireland and obviously Ayrshire and the southwest of Scotland. Now, basically, James Hamilton, his father used to be the minister of this kirk. His father was the Rev Hans Hamilton, and it says on the plaque here that he was minister of Dunlop Kirk from 1563 to 1608, so literally in the aftermath of the Reformation of 1560. But it tells us a wee bit as well about James Hamilton, who became the first Viscount of Clandeboye over in Ulster. And it says that in 1641, aged 82, James Hamilton returned from his estates in Ulster to visit his birthplace and commissioned a stone mausoleum to be built in memory of his long-dead parents, Hans and Janet. And on the sarcophagus containing their remains, he installed 2 half-length marble statues of his parents facing one another in prayer, with an incised inscription on the wall above, marble side pillars, and a Hamilton coat of arms carved into stone near the ceiling. So you can see that within the building. There's actually a small image of the where's it gone now? Hang on, see if I can find it. There you go, just over here. That's what the actual thing looks like within the building. Now, the Scots who settled over in Ulster in the Hamilton-Montgomery settlements and the subsequent plantations were predominantly speakers of the Scots language, but about a tenth of them were actually Gaelic speakers. And if you think about it, today there's very few Gaelic speakers in Ayrshire or in Dumfries and Galloway, but back in the 1600s there were actually strong communities in Dumfries and Galloway and in the south of Ayrshire where Gaelic was a main language. So they were Protestant, they settled in Ulster, but they were Gaelic speakers, and some of the ministers who went over during the plantations were also Gaelic speakers and spoke a form of Gaelic which was very similar to the dialect of Irish in County Antrim and in other counties in Ulster. So there are strong connections between the two areas, which explains why I'm 88% Scottish according to Ancestry, even though my accent might tell you otherwise. So to find out more about the Ulster Scots and the people who settled within the province of Ulster, there's a great book that a pal of mine has written, William Rolston, called Research in Scots-Irish Ancestry, also published as Research in Ulster Ancestry, and you'll get that from the Ulster Historical Foundation through their website, and I'll put a link on that below within the description for this video. So as ever, basically I'm doing these wee short videos just to give you a wee bit of entertainment, but also to ask you for sponsorship to help me for the kilt walk that I'll be doing on the 28th of April to raise money for the Lochran Gaelic Centre in Partick in Glasgow. And if you could make a small donation, no matter how small, that would be greatly appreciated. And hopefully on the day itself, the 28th of April, I'll be there in a kilt, walking between Glasgow Green and Ballach and Loch Lomond to raise money for this cause. So basically here we are once again then. That is the church at Dunlop Kirk, and it's just one of the many connections in the area that are flagged up connecting the province of Ulster with the southwest of Scotland. So thanks for listening, and I'll be back in touch again soon.